I actually believe, the NBA want to give Jaylen Brown the MVP this year. Because it's like, guys, at the time of recording this video, 26th of February 2026, the week started, let's say, on Sunday night, the 22nd, when the Celtics played the Lakers. Is it just me? But this entire week, like, the push Jaylen Brown has been getting for MVP has been mind-boggling, And honestly, I'm here for it. Because when you go back on the receipts, on this channel, right? It felt like I was the only one on that boat, pushing the boat, right? I've been pushing this Jaylen Brown MVP agenda since October, November times. Listen, you know what I'm saying? We came a long way. So the fact that Jaylen Brown's in these conversations and is actually been taken seriously, like it actually, there's a potential that Jaylen Brown's getting a lot of MVP love. Yeah, but going back onto my point, like, is it just me? But does it feel like the Browns been getting a crazy push for the MVP this week, like this entire week, bro? Since that Lakers game, all the way to the Denver loss that we just had, and we're playing Brooklyn Nets to finish off the week. Phoenix in between that, he sat the game out. But listen, like, he's been getting crazy MVP push from like the media, ESPN, NBC. You got ex-players saying they believe he's the MVP. You got pundits analyzing his game, saying he's a potential MVP candidate. You've got even players in the league are recognizing, like, we all know LeBron's situation with Jaylen Brown obviously is not really the best anymore, especially after what he said about Bronny. But listen, bro, Brown, I mean, even LeBron, he couldn't even cap. He couldn't even cap, bro. And he's playing on the same team with an MVP candidate himself, Luka Doncic, right? He couldn't even cap, bro. He had to give it Jaylen Brown his MVP love. He's like, bro, he's surprised, like, I do believe he wanted to, like, when they asked him, do you think he is actually in the MVP race? I do believe he wants to say yes, but, he has to kind of play it cool, But, yeah, like, even the players are acknowledging, like, yo, like, shout out Roman Reigns, acknowledge me. Like, they're acknowledging Jaylen Brown right now. You got players, like, everyone around the league has just been pushing Jaylen Brown like crazy this week for the MVP. That's why I was kind of pissed off with how the Nuggets game went last night or the other night. Because, like, come on, bro. Like, Brown, you kind of need, if Brown wants to win the MVP, he needs to meet the NBA or just the out of the, I don't even know what I'm saying, the discourse in the middle, right? He's been getting pushed like crazy this week. If he would have won, or if the Celtics would have won that game last night against the Nuggets, I think, like, yo, it would have been crazy. That's why I was so pissed off. But it's like, we can't really do it too much, because at the end of the day, the Celtics was coming off a back-to-back, and coming off a back-to-back in Denver, Denver being the second game, that's a bit crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Like, we all know the stories about the altitude and whatnot. Like, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, man, like, Brown, is it just me? But Brown's been getting pushed like crazy this week for the MVP. He's been getting a lot of MVP talks, a lot of MVP love from the media, everything. I'm gonna pull up a graphic on here, right, showing Jaylen Brown amongst all the other MVP candidates, and like his stats, he's kind of punching with the rest. His stats are pretty much good, not pretty much, very good. Just shy of 30 points and whatnot, 7 rebounds. I can't little 7 rebounds. And I even think this is his best playmaking season, assist wise, right? But bro, like, what caught my attention from that graphic? This is another reason why Jaylen Brown should be MVP. Yo, like, if you guys can see at the bottom, the only one, the lone Celtics All-Star this season, like, everyone on that panel, right, has been playing with an All-Star level kind of player, or at least has been nominated to the All-Star event. But Jaylen Brown, everyone's had All-Star kind of level help, but Jaylen Brown. And that's just, again, what similar to what I said in my last video, right? It just emphasized the point of the burden Jaylen Brown has had to carry this season. The burden, like, coming into the season, nobody expected us. They were saying lottery team, They were singing I'm gonna AP spend 200K. Did something for us rainbow face. They help for all of ain't no way. I might be alright, but ain't okay. They were singing all of that, right? Lottery team, whatnot. Celtics won't make the playoffs. This, that. Boston Celtics is the second seed and almost qualified for the Phil Jackson qualification for the true contender, the 40-20 rule. Like, that's insane, bro. You know. So like, what he's had to do this season, yeah, man. You know, hell yeah, he's the MVP. He my MVP. He the real MVP. When actually looking at things as well from like a step back, right? Another reason why I actually think the NBA might actually want Jaylen Brown to win the MVP. We all know Adam Silver and whatnot, like marketing like crazy, bro. Voters fatigue is real. I know SJ won one, he's only won one, but like I know even me saying this is kind of crazy because to a degree I don't kind of believe it, but like I do feel like they don't want to make him a repeated MVP winner. Like they want to avoid a repeated MVP winner as much as possible, you know. Jokic, bro, he's on. This would be his fourth or fifth one. No, if he was to win it, crazy, bro. So like, voice fatigue for those two, you know, kind of, you know, plays into the hands of the other players in the field. And not to mention, Jokic might not miss the games, the game limit, right? The game quota for you know, eligibility for awards and whatnot. So like, you know. Wembenyama, I just feel like compared to the other four contenders, or maybe even Luka as well, Kid, Jokic, Brown, and SJ, I feel like Wemby, he's had a good season, but I just feel like it isn't quality wise on par with those guys, right? If you ask me. But the Spurs are the second seed though. Like they've been winning a lot of games. I might have to take that back. We'll come back to Wemby, you know, but. Even then, though, I feel like Brown has had a better season. Like, the supporting cast Wemby's had, the expectations. Everyone's expected the Spurs to take the next step. You know, they're where people expected them to be, honestly. Everyone was expecting them to be a top 3 seed coming into the season. Nobody expects the Celtics to be a top 2 seed. Everyone, like I said, lottery team. So even then, bro, I'll kind of say Brown has had a better season. Kay Cunningham, MVP season, I can't lie. I can't even front MVP season. But again though, kind of back to the NBA point, Pistons is kind of like a small market relative to the Celtics and whatnot. An MVP in Celtics, I mean an MVP in Boston, you know. Listen, love or hate the Celtics. Celtics are one of the premier marquee franchises in the NBA. Like they're one of the biggest breadwinners in the NBA, bro. Massive fan base and whatnot. Historically wise, history in the making. You know, history wise, up there, can't be. Literally, no one. You know, number one, numero uno, right? So like, franchise wise, an MVP in Boston. You know, for marketing reasons, Adam Silver could be licking his lips. You know, another reason why the NBA or and whatnot might want Jaylen Brown to actually win this thing. You know. I'm just taking a sip of my ice cold Fanta twist. Just thinking about the possibilities, the prophecy, you know, that could be on. Jaylen Brown might actually win MVP this season. We came a long way. And I mean, Mills, dreams and nightmares. Rest in peace, rest in peace, rest in peace to the pocket lot. My fan is so big it can't even fit in the pocket spot. What you talking about? Let me stop, man. Listen, guys, let me actually bring it close to this one. Jaylen Brown, this is like, you know, these have been my reasons for why Jaylen Brown, you know, might actually win the MVP. And listen, if you ask me what Jaylen Brown needs to do to win MVP, listen, if he has a month that he had in December, but next month in March, he wins it, bro. He takes it home. He fulfills the prophecy. You know what I'm saying? Jaylen Brown, the MVP. Oh my gosh. Jaylen Brown, damn MVP. Let me stop playing, man. But yeah, man, guys, I'm gonna end it here. Ain't gonna lie, bro. You know, hey, you know, I'm coming up back. You know, listen, I said, you know, it's been a bit of a ghost town in this on this channel, right? I swear down, yeah. It's been so long, the dust was starting to collect. You know, I looked at my channel, I blew it out. Dust went in my. You know what I'm saying? That's how long it's been. You know, dust is starting to. You know what I mean? But you know, I'm starting to polish the shop and whatnot. We back in business. You know what I'm saying? Opening the shop now. Posts, you know, the post consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like Jaylen Brown this season, that's why he should be MVP.